channel. This is JL2OFFRD. We're going to start a new segment coming up shortly called Gear Talk. I'll introduce you to our vehicles, our recovery gear, camping gear, things for hiking, and of course all that tactical gear, knives, axes, things like that you guys all love. Just a bit of a show and tell really, some recommendations, and just basically another look at what someone else does. Hopefully you guys will learn a thing or two or pick up some, good tips on some good gear. So yeah, come along for the ride, and remember to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Cheers for watching, guys. Thanks. So here's our truck we're using most of the time, our Jeep JK. As you can see, it's quite well fitted out, bits and pieces. Of course, most of these vehicles advance slowly along the way, but as you can afford things. Basic things I recommend people start with, of course, is basically a good set of tyres, a minimum of at least a 2-inch lift. You'll find that most vehicles, regardless of brand, you do that and they'll go just about anywhere. So all the other bits and pieces we've got, of course, just extras, add-ons. If you're in the South Island and you want to start doing some big river crossings, recommend the Snorkel. From there on, it's all your recovery gear and things. So yeah, let's have a look at what we got. One thing, guys, if you can afford to, buy a spare wheel the same size, same rim, same style as you've got on the rest of the vehicle. And if you're towing a camper trailer, try and incorporate the same stud pattern. We did that for many years until we've changed to a Jeep, so our pattern is slightly different now, but we do have a spare for our camper trailer as well. So yeah, the Jeep's a vehicle of choice for us at the moment. Something different. Had all vehicles from Nissan Patrols to the old series Land Rovers, right through Discoveries, Range Rovers. Definitely a Land Rover man for many years. Might put some pictures in here of what we've built up over the years, but we've had the Jeep a couple of years now. Really liking the vehicle. It's a good size vehicle is what we're finding, and of course parts, accessories, endless amounts of parts and accessory options coming in from the States. Not too bad if you get the freight right. So, but no, all vehicles, all four-wheel drives, Toyotas, Land Rovers, Nissans, Isuzus, whatever you've got, they all work, they all do the job, and most of you can get out wheeling and just get on with it, basically. Especially if you're just doing some basic tracks, take yourself up to the 4x4 park up in Wood Hill. Fantastic day out, good way to test your skills and your recovery gear, all in what I call a pretty safe environment. So yeah, basically, guys, I just say get into it, do your best with what you can afford, and just be safe. Of course, you can buy an endless amount of recovery gear, traction boards or sand tracks, max tracks, whatever you guys want to call them these days. There's many different ones out there, different brands. Very useful, quite easy to carry on the outside of your vehicle. Look them up and watch some videos. Ronnie Dahl did a very good test on all the different sorts of tracks, what lasted, what didn't, what was a decent brand, and from there you can formulate your own opinions on that. We carry two because we do a lot of solo adventuring. So one thing to consider is you've got 4 wheels, 4 tracks sometimes helps. Roof racks, of course, is one of the other things a lot of you are going to want to carry. Many guys are using rooftop tents these days. We currently don't because we have ground tents in a camper trailer. So that takes care of that for us. But of course, check out your roof rack. You can stick a load of stuff up there. High lift jacks, recovery boards, whatever you feel you need to do. We even carry fuel up there when we need to. Try and keep it empty, of course, if we can. But 15 litres up there. So that works well. Yeah, basically roof rack all the way, guys. Great accessory to have. Now, extra lighting, off-road riding, spotlights. Whoever said you can never have enough spotlights must have obviously owned a Jeep. There's many places to put them. I'm not running anything up on the roof. Got a few opinions on that myself, wind noise, etc. But yeah, just mount a few spotlights. To be honest, a good set of spotlights on the front will really make your life easy when you're out there at night or you get caught back late somewhere. So yeah, but just remember, wire them up properly. We're using an 8-gang switch that runs back to relays and fuses under the bonnet, complete separate item that then goes to the battery. About the safest you can get, I believe. Don't seem to have any problem. We're only running one battery on this vehicle, even though we have a winch. Very hard on a Jeep to get that second battery in. But yeah, basically, good set of spotlights, driving lights. Really make a difference. Now, snorkels. I reckon they look cool. There's probably a reason a lot of you guys fit them. We have been down South Island where the water's a bit deeper, but admittedly I often go in summer, so you know, water barely comes up to the top of the wheels a lot of the time. You got to be prepared for that one situation. You do get caught out, you might get a bit of rain up in the hills, things like that. So snorkels are relatively cheap these days. There's some not bad ones out there. Basically, yeah, just safeguard you from drowning the engine. It is worth it. There's a lot of debate on whether the ram air actually helps with induction. Yeah, not sure about that, but could work. And of course we're running a K&N reusable filter down inside in the engine bay as well. Just makes stuff a lot better. So yeah, look at the pros and cons of snorkels. Relatively cheap, another accessory you can add, especially if you are going on trips where there's a lot of rivers or water crossings. So yeah, you get stuck, guys. One thing you're obviously going to need is a shovel. Shovel, spade, whatever you've got that you can fit in the vehicle, preferably outside the vehicle so it's easy to get. Then you've got no worries about pulling all the gear out the back of the car. We carry a decent sized shovel, find it easy to use, lives on the roof, no problem up there at all, easy to get to. On the Jeep we have our little steps that pull out from the door hinges here. Quite a good item. Very usable, very strong. If you want to really get down to it, they have a bottle opener on the bottom as well. So when we are camping, you find there's a lot of stuff you've got to take with you. One of them for us a lot of the time is fresh water. We're not always by a river and can't always purify that water. Not all the rivers in New Zealand are really fit for drinking. We use these Roto Packs, which are fantastic little bottles. These ones lock onto the back of the spare wheel. There's actually another one inside. Try to get them outside just to give me room in the Jeep. It's not the biggest vehicle. Yeah, basically you need water to survive in case you do get yourself in trouble anywhere as well. And then beyond that, we get into the awnings. Our awning is actually one of the King's ones. I opted to go out the back of the vehicle. I see a lot of guys who get in the bush, get in the trees and the forest, hooking their awning quite badly when they're mounted on the side. Something you obviously got to be wary of. We could still hook this one. This one comes out 2.5 meters by the width of the vehicle. Fantastic when we're fishing out the back, or a little bit of drizzle and we're cooking out the back of the Jeep where we've got our little Jeep tailgate table that folds down. So, but yeah, many awnings on the market to suit your budget. Well worth it, I believe. Just that little extra bit of protection. If you do get yourself stuck, hopefully if you're with someone else, they're going to pull you out. Tow hooks, obviously something you need. Good shackles, etc. We use a lot of soft shackles. To be honest, some of these shackles on the back of ours are really a bit for show, make the Jeep look cool. But we have a few different configurations on our centre tow hook there. The giant one we've got on the back is just a bit of a piss take, to be honest. But yeah, we prefer the soft shackles. Of course, we use them on the front with the winch lines. Yeah, I think this is a good, safe option, and they really have some strength to them. Now to the front of the vehicle, we're running a rough country winch, which I've been pretty impressed with. We've had a lot of Warns over the years, super winch, things like that. Not badly priced, and so far had a lot of success. Synthetic rope, of course. We do change our hook out now and then to a factor 55, which I actually need to mount on there permanently. I'm just trying to organise the number plate here that comes up and gets out of the way. So yeah, decent rough country winch. We've got that on a wireless remote as well. That wireless remote just sits under the bonnet there. Little handheld remote, really easy to use, makes your life so much simpler than basically having that big cord running into your vehicle, or if you're standing beside your vehicle to try and do something. Yeah, well worth it. Winch again is just one of those accessories you get when you can afford it, especially if you're not running any sort of bull bar on the front, winch bar. So yeah, keep up with whatever you can afford to do, and then the further you can go, the safer you can be, and generally get yourself out of trouble without having to bother others if you can help it. So when it comes to communications, we use the UHF radios, which of course most of you guys do in New Zealand, pretty easy. Obviously different options around the world. We do have ham radio options here in New Zealand, but mostly for civil defence and things. So we've got, basically a vehicle mounted one, a nice tiny one that's hidden behind the dash. Everything runs off the handheld itself, and we've got the aerial here mounted on the side. Was originally on the front, but of course I added more lights, so I had to move it, and to be honest, it's probably a bit better for filming out the front screen, than better view for you guys. So there's our UHF unit on the inside. As I say, very small compact unit. Happy with its performance, works very well. We do have handhelds as well for those times you do get out the vehicles. When I take the boys along with me, the teenagers, I basically give them a handheld each, and they can go and wander off, do what they want when we're camping, and just keep in touch. Really easy. Again, another safety device. And of course, if you're on a convoy, you guys can rib each other about getting stuck and anything else you want to talk about. And here we have the switch pod. I've got one space left, so who knows what will fit next, but we shall see. As I say, very good, sits up on the dash, easy to get to. Two of the switches are actually wired up to the main beam, so they go on and off with that. The rest are all separate. Haven't overloaded the thing yet with all the lights we've got, front and back. Yeah, very happy. Have a look around. There's several different brands, different makes, probably into the $500-600 range for something like this, but well worth it compared to what we were using, which was another set of switches. You can see that right down below in there. So good to have all these other switches and pods, but you're wiring every single one back to a relay, separate relay, and lots of wires, and we just found it was getting too much into the bonnet, too messy. So we basically swapped it out for the pod up the top. Makes life a lot easier, and yes, definitely easier to turn on and off. First aid kit, guys. Can't advise you enough to have one of these in your kit, at least one, whether it's small or large, have something. Case in point, I nicked my finger while chopping wood on one of the trips. Thought I was going to have to basically leave the tent and go get stitches. Ended up being quite lucky, bandaged it up for the day, and it has finally healed, but anything can happen. You don't know what's going to happen out there from a nick, a cut, or any sort of abrasion. So no, check what gear you've got, make sure it's always full, and yeah, make sure it's in a place that's accessible and easy to get to. Now I'm not going to go into everything I have in the back of the vehicle. We're currently a bit of a mess after the last trip, so not everything's in there, fridge is out, things like that. Basically, you all know you've got to keep some tools, keep some spares. We had trouble with spark plug leads last time. Would you believe a stick came up under the bonnet and actually caught spark plug lead and tore it off? How that happened we don't know, but it did. So lucky I had a couple of leads which got me back to the nearest town, so I could then start looking at repairing the proper ones. Start getting check engine lights and things coming on because of it. It's best to be able to try and get that vehicle going if we have to get on a tow truck, or worse even, somehow get pulled out of a track miles out of nowhere. So yeah, keep your tools, basic supplies, a few fluids, things like that. That's all you need, guys, and hopefully one of your mates has got the other part that you haven't. Now guys, remember, you buy all this gear, you want to hang on to it. Keep it secure, lock it down as best you can. Guys will take it. There's dickheads out there who are ripping off rooftop tents from cars, all sorts of things. So yeah, any way you can, secure it down as long as it's easy to get to. You don't lose the key. I use combo locks on most of them when I can. Stuff on the roof is all tied on and locked as well. If we know we're going out to do some trails, hey, we'll take the lock off before we go. But yeah, safeguard your gear, you don't want to lose it. Now, cargo in the back of your vehicle, of course, yes, we all know it can hit you on the head when it comes flying through. We've got what I call a soft cargo barrier, which is a bit of a stretch net thing. It does work, it holds all our stuff in. You don't have to have the metal ones. Because when you are going out for a decent overlanding trip, you're packed to the gunnels. So yeah, make sure you've got it all put in there and somehow safe and tied in with bungees, whatever you can do to make it safe. So you'll see here that we have a bit of a skid plate running down the front, and a dog. basically what we're trying to do here is just a bit of protection down underneath. I have bent the track rod before, quite hard to protect. Probably looking at some aftermarket ones at some stage to make them stronger. We've got some underbody armour further down on the Jeep as well. It's worth looking at. You know, I try not to push myself into anything that's, you know, we're not going to get out of, we're going to be a big drama. But hey, you never know when that's going to happen. That's the thing. It could happen at any stage. So, yeah, consider what's underneath your vehicle. If you've not got protection, just consider where you're driving and what you're doing. Yeah, it's got to be worth a thought. Know where your wheels are at all time on the track, and get it in your head that your diff is off to one side, things like that. Each vehicle individual, of course. So yeah, just have a bit of a think about it. So guys, I'm not here to tell you how to drive, what to do, how to build your vehicle. There's so many options. We all have different ideas. We wouldn't be who we are if we didn't. So yeah, I'm just here to give you a few advice on what I use, tips. If you like the gear, give it a go out and buy it. Not affiliated to anything or anyone, buy all my own gear. Love buying the gear, love trying it out. And of course I do a lot of research first. Of course watching YouTube videos is one of the best ways to do it. So yeah, hopefully we've been helpful, and see you on the next one. Cheers.